where are you from originally?
I'm actually from Tampa, Florida originally, born and raised.
Did you go to a public school, private school?
I went to both. I went to a private school and a public school, actually.
In grade school, did you have a favorite subject?
Oh, I loved history. I was always a history buff.
I know you were really young at that point. Do you have any idea what you want to do with the rest of your life?
Back in grade school?
Yes.
Or now? Oh, okay. In grade school, God, when I was younger and politics were more civil, I wanted to get into politics, even if it was like a local city thing. And then a little bit older, I actually wanted to be a history professor for college.
Did you pursue either one in any length?
I did a little bit with the history. I started down that road, but I ended up getting a job in commercial real estate, which pays a hell of a lot more money than anything in history. So I went the business route instead.
You mentioned you went to private and public. Was that in grade school or high school or?
So I actually went to private school from first grade. It was actually Christian school from first grade to through ninth grade. And it took me that long to convince my parents to put me in a public school. And it only took me a year and a half to get put back into private school.
Were you rebelling? Were you the bad girl? Were you?
Well, you know, I was the only child, so I think they thought I was a bad girl. But I was skipping school a little bit. Like my grades weren't terrible, but they weren't great. And I was skipping school and smoking weed. So they were like, oh, our only daughter's skipping school and smoking weed. She's got to go back to a Christian school. Like that helped.
And were they that strict?
They weren't strict. It was just that since they didn't have any other children to base anything off of, and I grew up in a heavily LGBTQ neighborhood, they didn't really have anything else to compare me to. So they thought smoking weed was terrible. And I try to explain to them, like, I've got friends that are doing pills and I won't do pills and they're doing pills. Like, you should be happy. I'm just smoking weed.
What about the actual school? Were they very strict?
No, because I was a star athlete. Like, I was, not to put myself over anything, but I was a bit of a superstar in basketball and volleyball. So my private school basically let me get away with anything I wanted. I mean, they would allow me to skip classes if I wanted to because I was like the volleyball star. So in that sense, it was kind of nice going to the private school.
It was girls only?
Was that? No, it was girls and boys. It was very small. I graduated with like 20 other people, but it was mixed. It was male and female.
In high school, were you the loner, the geek, the nerd?
I was the athlete. I was the athlete. I was on varsity as early as you could be on varsity sports. So I was smart. I would always do good in school, but I was known as the athlete.
Popular with the boys?
I mean, you know, it was hard. Let's put it this way. When I was in high school, all the boys in high school thought they were dominant and wanted a subby chick, if we're being completely frank here. And I've always been very confident in Dommy. So even in high school, like 20-something-year-old guys were interested in me, but the boys were not interested in me because I think I scared them away a little bit.
Did you send your boyfriend sexy pictures and all that?
Well, I'm 35, so I didn't actually have, like, we didn't really have sexting very well with smartphones until college, but when that happened, I guess in college I did, but in high school it was more like I just had a lot of sex with my boyfriend. I was never opposed to sex.
Did you get a reputation because of that?
No, in high school I was with a boyfriend. Everybody knew that I liked sex, but it wasn't, I mean, my friends did, I guess, and they probably figured I was having sex because my boyfriend was older, but not really, because I didn't, again, the high school boys just, I think, were too intimidated by me, so I didn't sleep around with them. It was college. I didn't have a reputation, but in college, oh, I definitely had fuck buddies, and I didn't care. If people didn't like it, then you didn't have to hang out with me.
You finished high school. Did you immediately go into college? Do you have any aspirations to do anything else? Any career?
No, I immediately went into college because I wanted to party. I was so tired of having a curfew. I was like, all right, get me an apartment in college. I want my own life. I want a curfew. I want to party. I want to have fun. And I actually had FSU wanted me for their volleyball team. They were trying to recruit me to their volleyball team. And I said, hell no, I'm partying. I've done sports. I'm done. I'm partying.
How far did you get in college?
3 years, 3.5 years. I'm one semester away from finishing, but at this point, I'm not wasting my time. I don't need it.
Okay.
I spent a decade in commercial real estate kicking ass in Tampa, LA, and New York City, and none of them cared that I had a degree, so I said, fuck it.
What would the degree have been in?
I was dual majoring in history and business. So I had about one semester left to finish 2 separate majors. I probably would have 1 degree by now if I had stuck with 1 major, but such is life.
And you mentioned you're sending sexy pictures and stuff in college. How did that start?
Well, I was dating somebody, and I was actually out of town, and I was like, oh, well, here's a picture of my tits. Here's a picture of my puss. Like, here you go. And he liked it. And I was never really opposed to it. I mean, I know it can get, even back then, I knew it could get on the internet, but what are you going to do? Fuck it.
Did any of the people you send the pictures to swear they wouldn't share them with anybody, but they did anyway?
If they did, I never knew about it. They weren't like out there on the internet for everybody to find, as far as I know. And they may have shown their friends, but I really didn't care that much even back then. I made a few videos with an ex-boyfriend, like sex videos, and he never put them up on anything either, so worked out.
Do you remember the first time you saw something adult related, a magazine, a movie?
Oh God, the earliest. I mean, we did have like those channels where they would show, what was that, like the pay channels or the public access, and they would show like footage of Mardi Gras, and the chicks would be showing their boobs. That, I think, was the first time I saw something like that on TV, and I thought that was crazy.
When you saw that material, did the thought ever cross your mind that I could do that?
The thought crossed my mind that I'm totally going to Mardi Gras and I'm totally showing my tits. Definitely. But I got to tell you, when I first went to a club, I think I was like 15, and I saw these go-go dancers, and I was like, well, I want to do that. Like, I don't care. And then when I went to strip clubs, because Tampa's really known for strip clubs, I was like, that looks like fun. I don't care. I don't know why people give strippers a bad name. That looks like fun, and I want to do it.
Did you do it?
I haven't yet. I'd like to. I want to try to get maybe a guest spot eventually at a strip club, but I actually haven't done it. I dance on our Twitch show just for fun, but not, at a strip club.
When you saw the go-go shows and the strip stuff, for you, was did you enjoy the attention or the fact that they were making money on it?
So it's funny, like, it was neither of those thoughts went through my head. All I thought was, I want to be in that cage, and I want to be dancing, and I want my body to move to the music like that. Like, I want to feel that music, and I want to feel it, and I want to put on a show and do that and go to it. And I didn't even think about the money or really the attention. I just thought they were so fucking cool up there. I was like, God, I want to be that cool.
How do you make the transition from college then to doing like OnlyFans and all that?
Oh God, that was a long time in the making. So in college, I didn't care what people thought of me. I enjoyed myself. I partied. Like I said, I had anywhere between 3 to 5 fuck buddies in college at one given time. I didn't care, but it wasn't something I thought I was going to do. I still planned on having like a regular vanilla career. And then we started talking about swinging on the Howard Stern show, and I started getting nude at this resort here in the San Jose Bay area called Caliente. It's like a nudist and swingers club or resort. And I was like, I like this. I like being naked. I like the business aspect of OnlyFans and the marketing aspect. And that's when I go, well, fuck this. I love it. I enjoy it, and I can make money off of it. So why not do it?
Did it bother you, scare you, make you nervous, and might affect a vanilla career later that you're doing
Uh,
OnlyFans?
no, I don't think so. I mean, you know, I guess that's always the possibility, but I've always been a problem solver and a bit of a hustler. So, and when I say hustle, I mean, I work my ass off. Like there's never an option for quitting, and there's never an option for failure. So I've always figured it out no matter what. And I've done that so many times that I trust that part of me, and I know I'll be fine. And my husband, Brent, is the same. Like, that's why we work so well together. We always figure it out.
How did you get hooked up with the Howard Stern show?
Oh God. So Brent used to work for Bubba the Love Sponge for 13 years. He's a radio host in Tampa, and he's been syndicated all over the place. The first time Brent worked for Howard, Howard had actually hired the Bubba the Love Sponge show for his channels on SiriusXM, and Brent helped set up those channels. So Howard was very familiar with Brent, and Brent had left Bubba's show and gone out to LA and was out there for about a year and working with Mary Lou Henner, who was in Taxi back in the day, and on KFI, which is like a well-known talk radio station in LA. And he got the call from Howard, hey, do you want to come back and work for us again? He was like, fuck yeah. So we packed up all of our shit after only living in LA for a year, and we moved back to the East Coast and up to New York.
And you've been on the Stern show, though, right? Yourself?
Yeah. So with me, I got on the Stern show because Brent was on the Stern show, and he was talking about our swinging experiences. So it started off, I was on the Newlywed Game with Ronnie the limo driver and his fiance, Stephanie. So that was the first time I was on Howard's show, and I called in a couple times, and then I was on the Holly Weird Squares with Brent as well.
And how much of that is spontaneous, and how much of that is like maybe sorted out during commercial breaks?
Well, all my shit was spontaneous because nobody gave me really any direction. Like when you get there, like it's not like TV. You don't get your hair done and your makeup done, and they prep you and they tell you what we're going to talk about. Hell no, he wants a natural reaction. Like, I don't know how much information Howard has about me beforehand, or if he has certain things he wants to talk about. Maybe he has notes in front of him. But as far as I go, that was like kind of the most nerve-wracking part, because nobody tells you what's going to be asked. I'm sitting there going, my heart's going like this. I'm like, well, what the fuck is he going to ask me? And you want to be like this. You don't want to ruin his show. Going,
Does Gary or anybody give you any kind of encouragement to maybe go a little crazier than a normal thing because it's the Stern show?
No, everybody's just like, everybody's funny because I'm friends with most of the people there, and I see them at parties and stuff. But when it's work, it's work. And all of them would be like, hey, Katelyn, how are you doing? Okay, so your green room is over there. You're gonna be over here. About this time, we'll probably call you. Just be ready. If you have to pee, let somebody know. We'll take you. That's the only instruction and encouragement you get. They don't even say, hey, you got this. You break a leg. It's not even like that. Like Steve Brandano, who's been mentioned on the show before, I'm good friends with him, and he'll hug me and be like, hey, it's good to see you. Good luck. That's it. That's all they say. There's nothing else other than that.
Was there a favorite appearance you did on the Stern show?
I preferred the Holly Weird Squares over the Newlywed Game, and I think that's simply because it was my second appearance and I was more comfortable. I can't tell you, I was worried that the camera was going to pick up me shaking. I was so nervous the first time. So the second time I was still nervous, but it was less so. So that's why I liked that one better. And I kind of liked the setup. It was kind of fun to go back and forth on that one.